of Jesus come out of my mouth. Went through a season where even the enemy tried his best at taking me out. God was giving me all of the strength I needed, so hope went turning to doubt. Now I'm alive, living this life with the truth. Jesus had opened my eyes, so now we can rise. They might not like how we move, don't matter, we walk with Christ. I hope you don't mind. Might need to give me some room. You talking like everything fine, stop wasting my time. I don't just stick with the rules. If God say it's out of line, everything inside me cries, holy. You pick me up every time I fall. Jesus, you're so powerful. Oh, yeah, holy. If all the angels fall for you, holy. You answer every time I call. Jesus, you're so beautiful. So I started with this song because lately in my life, that song has really just motivated me and moved me. But this is season 3, episode 1. Welcome to Let's Talk with Natalie, and let's get into it. So my 2025 season just started, and it's off to a great start. As usual, life happened, and it took its toll on every aspect of my life. I could go on about the struggles, the ups and downs, the major changes that I went through. And most importantly, my battle with time management. That means that because everything else that I had going on in my life, everything that meant most to me, especially this podcast, um, it took a seat way, 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 way in the back. The things that were priorities to me at the time, so I could get my life back on track. And I'm just constantly just trying to keep up with changes. I'm gonna be real. Like sometimes it's hard to adjust to new changes because some are bigger than others. And the good thing is that I do work good under pressure. So, like I said, it is just it's time. It's time to get deep over here. So if you can't swim, bring your floaties, bring your life jacket, whatever it's gonna take. Because for starters, oh man, everyone, every single person I got coming on this season, their interviews, they all have a story. Each one so powerful. And I'm not saying one's better than the next because it's not. But the man, like, oh, I can't, I'm just so excited. You don't even understand. The stuff that some of these individuals have overcame, they have survived. And a lot of the stuff is stuff that we can relate to as human beings, as just people on an everyday basis. And the truth is that it's hard to talk about some of this stuff for some people, especially me. Like, there's certain things in my life that I'm not ready to talk about. Not, I'm just not ready to deal with it. But I know eventually that time will come. I know that we all tend to carry baggage around, and it's just most of us, we don't keep it real. Let's just be honest. Let me just put it out there. Most of the time, most of us don't keep it real. And I say that because now we may keep it a buck with everything else that goes on around us, with people or jobs or life, whatever. Like, most of us, we might have been about that life. But a lot of us, they have been through stuff. When it comes to ourselves, us in here, like, deep in here, we tend to ignore and overlook other stuff. We tend to ignore what we got going on. We push it to the back. We push whatever we're dealing with way in the back, and we'll deal with it later. Like, if we don't deal with it now, it's not real. If we can just get past this point right now and ignore what's going on, we're going to be good. That's how we deal with things. We tend to just be like, I just can't right now. This is too much. Excuse me. And I just think that that's reality for us. We tend to just push stuff that's really important all the way in the back, and we ignore it until we can't ignore it no more. It's me specifically. I let stuff build up, and it just builds up and builds up and builds up until finally I explode when something does happen. And it could be something so teeny weeny meaningless, but it was the last little thing that landed on top of everything that I've already put back there, and it just makes everything go. And I think we convince ourselves we're good. We convince ourselves, and I don't know about y'all, but I tend to lie to myself daily, especially, I get up and I'm like, man, I'm tired. I closed last night at work. I got to get up early and do homework. I got to clean. I got to wash dishes. I got to wash clothes. I got to walk the dogs, just little things. And it doesn't matter how tired I am. It doesn't matter what I went through the day before. It's a new day. So I got to start over. And I have to lie to myself that it's going to be okay. And I have to get up and just keep moving. And in order for you to understand me this season, because a lot of the times, we started the whole podcast with just audio, just audio the first two seasons mostly. Last season, I did kind of, learn a little bit how to combine my YouTube channel, which is Lugo Talks, and I combine it with my podcast, which is Let's Talk with Natalie Lugo. Make sure you put Lugo because apparently there's a lot more Natalie Lugos in the world. But it is combined with Lugo Talks on YouTube, okay? And subscribe if you haven't. Keep up with what's going on and just keep watching the growth. And so let's talk with Natalie. Like this season, I'm gonna open up about me. I'm gonna open the door about who I am and share my story with you and just really, really make myself here I am. And so, for those of you that don't know, my name is Natalie Lugo. I'm originally from San Antonio. And what I hope to gain from telling you my story is giving others hope that you understand that I've been where you've been. And for those that you haven't been there or you think you're on your way to, maybe this will help you understand why not to do the things that I did. Um, I don't really talk about it to a lot of people. And there's still some situations I know that in my life are not where they need to be. But I do want the women that have been where I've been to understand and that are still there, especially to know that they matter and they are not forgotten. So to me not speaking on my past or me not speaking on my experience is me forgetting them, is me ignoring the fact that they're still there, me ignoring the fact that there's some women there that are never going to come home, that are never going to be free again. And I can't ignore that fact. It's not in me. So with that being said, I was incarcerated for 15 years. Yeah, 15 years of my life. I went in when I was 18 years old. I got home. Well, I didn't even come home. I still had to go through safe P and a halfway house. So 33 is when I came out. I've been home maybe like 5 years now. And I am still currently on parole. Yes, till 2033. I still report. Still got to go pee in a cup. Still got fines to pay. And the halfway house that I went to BB Casa. And I learned so much about how to prepare to be free from the women there. There was people that uh, they were there before me that I had been in prison with. They helped me get a job because that's one of your requirements while you're there, and they helped me get a job. They help you with clothes. And these are just the women in there. It's not even the halfway house. I mean, of course, your family can send you stuff, and that's how you're able to help other women. But those women just accepted me with open arms. And like I said, some of them I had been locked up with, and they took me in. They helped me with everything that I didn't have that I would need, and they taught me the way, showed me what I needed to do, showed me how to use a cell phone, and it just really, man, it really taught me about unity, at that moment, because I say this all the time. In prison, it's so different because women don't stick together, and that is the saddest thing ever. There's a few, if you find them, that are good to you, that are loyal to you, that are your friends for the right reasons, keep those. I have women that I met in 2003 that I am still friends with today. They changed my life. They either helped me along the way, they encouraged me throughout my life, and stayed there to be a part of my life even to today. And I salute those women that, man, you made it through all that and you still look back to help me. And now I want to do the same for those that are still there, that are coming out, that are coming home, that are struggling. I really want to do the most that I am capable of and help in any way that I can. I don't care if it's just having a conversation, if it's picking up the phone, if it's texting back and forth here and there, if it's maybe, sometimes you need money, you're at work, you get paid every 2 weeks. I've helped a few of my friends and hey, send them $10 for lunch or, whatever. And sometimes we need that. Sometimes we need, just a little help, just a little encouragement, just a little push. I need it all the time. And I'm blessed to have a good boss where, she looks out for me. She does the most for me. She gives me rides sometimes. My truck's been broken down and that's a whole nother story. But I I am just so grateful where I am in my life right now. And I'm so excited about this season. I did the women empowerment season last year and it started off really good. I had some really good interviews in and stuff happened. People changed, people went through changes, their life went through changes and they couldn't continue helping. And then there was others that they decided they didn't want their interview, to come out. And that's none of my business. That's not my place to speak on it. But there was just a lot of different situations that I can't control. And like I said, life happens. So I think that us as human beings, we tend to grasp what attacks us, and sometimes it's a bad thing because we hold on to it, and then it's woe is me, and my life is just horrible, and they lose sight of what's important, and they end up back doing things that are not good for them and their family, and it drags them down. Like I swear, those some of those bad things just suck the life out of you, literally. And man, I keep them in my prayers because I don't know what it feels like. I've honestly never had a drug problem, so I can't say I understand you because I don't. That'd be a lie if I did. Addiction is another thing. I do understand that somewhat because I feel like we can be addicted to anything. We can be addicted to coffee. We could be addicted to sodas. We could be addicted to attention. We could be addicted to clothes and shoes, not just drugs. And I feel in my younger years, I did struggle with addiction to money, to power, to all the things that I was introduced to at a really young age. And it got me where I was, it put me in a situation that I couldn't change. And I was stuck there for so many years. Thank God that I was able to grow while I was there mentally and emotionally. And I had people in my life that fed me, whether it was God they fed me, or whether it was books they fed me, or whether it was just wisdom. And I just can't even begin to explain and break it down for you just in one episode. So there will be others where I share more stories and more intimate situations of people in my life and that are still in my life. And that's the best part. They're still in my life. And recently I did join the Lioness, it's women impact. It's just as women impacted group that they're just, oh, I can't even say they're just a group. It's like these women are so awesome. They inspire me every day. I can't even just like, I don't even know where to start with them. Like they go to the Capitol, they go and fight for bills to be passed. Like they go share their story on the Capitol steps. Like they stick together. They're organized. They're smart, and man, they're just awesome. And some of these women I was in prison with, and you would never know. You would never be able to tell the stuff that these women have been through. But they're awesome. They're freaking amazing. And I just can't wait to see where they're headed and what they do and how much more change they bring to the system. I'm blessed to be a part of that now, and I can't wait to see what they do and where this goes. This month is second chance month, and man, second chances. Where do I start with that? I was blessed to have a second chance in my life and be free. Like I said, I've been home 5 years. And every day I am still thankful that I get to wake up and take a shower when I want and adjust the temperature and stay there as long as I want. I don't have to be rushed out in 10 minutes and decide, do I want to wash my hair today? Do I want to shave one leg? Do I, what do I do? Is the water going to be cold? And then there's units, where you have to go outside for the showers. And like right now, it's raining outside and you're going to have to walk in the rain if you want to go shower. Imagine when it's cold and it's sometimes snowing or ice outside and you have to run from wherever dorm you live in all the way to the shower house and shower for 10 minutes. And most of the time, only the first group gets hot water. So you try to hurry up and wash off and hurry up and get dressed, and then you're freezing wet and cold and you're running back to your dorm. And thank God I don't have to live like that anymore. Thank God for that. And I try not to get emotional, but sometimes I do. I participate in this acts class that's at my church. It's every other Wednesday, and it's like a class. When you come home on parole, most of the time they make you do these classes that you have to attend for so many hours of credits, and most of them are like NAAA based. But even if you weren't on drugs, you still have to take these classes. Even if you weren't an alcoholic, you still have to take the classes. It's supposed to teach you something. And like I said, it doesn't just mean you're addicted to those two things, drugs or alcohol. It could be an addiction to anything. And this class is actually credited to that. So if you're in the Houston area, if you're on parole and you need somewhere to go to class that is faith based, I got it. Hit me up. I got you. It's a beautiful place. It's beautiful people. It's just the women, it's men, it's anybody is welcome. And if you really just need a sisterhood or you need a brotherhood or you need somewhere to feel like you're home and you need God in your life, you need prayer, you need anything, you go there. And you don't have to be an ex-felon. You don't have to be any of those things. You're welcome. It's a beautiful church. And I mean, I'm all tatted up and stuff, and they love me. They took me in, they accepted me for who I am. They know my story. Not once have I ever felt judged or looked upside the head or anybody making me, like looking at me crazy. Nothing. They're amazing. They're beautiful people. So all of these good things, and people God has placed in my life since I've been home, but it hasn't always been that way. I went through, a lot of changes. I went through, breakups. I went through whatever. I feel that I'm in a stable relationship right now, and the person that I'm with has been amazing to me. He's really supported my dreams and my goals and helps me out a lot. He's a good partner. And I say that because a lot of the times people are still stuck in the kind of mentality that a man is supposed to work and provide and a woman is supposed to, take care of the house, wash, cook, clean, and still whatever work. And we don't. We're a partnership and we both take part in cleaning the house. We both wash clothes. We both wash dishes. We both cook. We both work, and we help and support each other. And that is one of the best things that has happened to me because I've never known that. I mean, I went in at 18 years old, and I mean, I didn't have a lot of experience, in relationships that consisted of something like this. And man, I have so much that I want to talk about, and I'm just like overwhelmed right now because the relationship also that I now have with my son, mind you, I went in at 18. My son was still 2 years old. He grew up his whole little life without me there. And at some point, I wasn't even part of his life at all. I'm not going to point fingers and blame people. That doesn't even matter now, you know? But no matter what we both endured on our own terms of life, we have gotten past that. We've gotten past the fact that I was gone most of his life. I was there for his graduation. I've here with him in my life now. I almost talk to him daily, and he has two beautiful babies that I love and adore, and he lets me be a part of. And I just think that to the women that come home and your kids give you a hard time and they tell you they hate you and scream and don't want to talk to you, it's okay. Just love them through that stage. Love them through all of that. I don't know what it is for a kid. You always want your mom at some point. You always need your mom at some point. And that point will come. And eventually, pray about it. Talk to God and just keep loving your kid through it. Keep trying. Don't give up on them. And eventually that will break through and you will have that relationship back with your kids. Just don't give up, you know? And kids, if you're a kid out here and maybe you're grown already and you're an adult and your parents were ever locked up out of your life, I'm sorry. I apologize on your parents' behalf because we didn't know no better. We were raised the way we were raised. We were exposed to things you will never be exposed to. And the changes that we had to go through, the things we had to accept in our youth and growing up and being locked up, they don't teach you in prison how to be a better parent. Yes, they have parenting classes, but it doesn't always teach you how to be a parent if you've never even known what the word really means. And if your parents didn't prepare you to be parents because their example was really bad, imagine becoming a parent and you don't even know what you're supposed to do. You don't even know how you're supposed to be a parent. What does that even mean? And unfortunately, for a lot of us, we were parents really young because that's what we saw. That's what we did. We made bad choices. And imagine for the women that didn't go to prison, imagine the women that were young parents and they did what they had to do, worked hard and supported their children and saw them through school and didn't even know what they were doing. Imagine, but they knew enough to love you and to be there for you. I just big up to the moms, man, for real. Like, I hate that I wasn't able to be there for my son a lot of his life, but his grandmother, beautiful lady, that lady raised my son and took care of my son and always encouraged my son to do the right thing and go to school and be a good kid and always talked about me to him and didn't ever leave me out of it, no matter of my bad choices and mistakes. And also, man, I want to talk about goals. I want to talk about goals to you today. When you're locked up, you don't understand what's really going on out here. Like, even me, I had a journal. This is not the specific journal, it's in here somewhere, but I had a journal that I started 5 years before I saw parole. Because, mind you, I had a big sentence. So parole wasn't a real thing to me until later that I finally got my life together. So 5 years before I seen parole, I started this journal and I started writing down things that I wanted to do, food I wanted to taste, clothes I wanted to wear, shoes I liked. I started taping stuff in there. Yes, I would take tape off my little mail, my letters and stuff, and tape my little pictures in there of stuff. And I would write stuff that I wanted to go do, places I wanted to go see. And I think that was my way of encouraging myself. And sometimes I would sit there and I'd look through my journal and I'd be like, man, I can't wait to go home and do all this stuff. And when I got home, I hit the floor running. I was working two jobs. I was going to classes on my one day off from work. I was spending time with my family trying to make up time. That's not realistic either. You will never get that time back. You will never be able to make that time up with your family or your kids. Never, never is that going to happen. You have to understand that you have to start right from where you're at. Right where you land, that's where you start from. You cannot keep going back What's done is done. What's back there is over with and gone. And that's a hard pill for a lot of us to swallow when we first get home. And we think, man, if we work in here for free, we could go home and do this. Da, 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 da. And that does happen. Most of the time, we do get out and we do that. We're determined. And then life happens. And then some people go back to prison because life wasn't that great. Sometimes our families didn't support us the way they should have. Thank God mine did, because I don't think I would have made it this far without them in my life. And I know that for most people, if you didn't have that encouragement or stability of friends and family while you were locked up, and you still don't have it when you get out, it's almost inevitable that you fail. I'm not saying always, but most of the time, it's hard to be on your own by yourself. We all need each other. We all need the support system. We all need it as human beings and as people coming out of prison. We need that. I needed that. I still need it. You don't understand. I get on my phone sometimes and I'm just like, man, who am I going to call today? I need to talk to somebody. And it's so hard out here to talk to people that have never been in your situation and really don't understand or grasp what you've been through. Even, my boyfriend, I try to talk to him sometimes and he tells me, he's like, I don't understand. I don't know. I don't know what to say, and it's not his fault. It's not nobody's fault. That's what I went through. And I think most of us come home with some sort of PTSD. Some of us come home with confused ways of thinking. Like, we think it's going to be this way, but it really way different. And just adjusting to that is hard. Just adjusting to understanding that it's not always going to be the way we imagined it. Finding a job sometimes can be hard. Staying with your family when you do, let's just say you do have family and you come home, my dogs. Let's just say you do come home and you have the support of your family. You come home and you live with your family, and then things don't go the way it was planned to go. Imagine having a hard time with your family because they're thinking, okay, you're going to get home. You said you were going to get a job. You said you're going to do this. You said you're going to do that. And you still haven't done it. Maybe it's not because you didn't try. Maybe it's not because you haven't been looking for a job, because you have. Maybe you filled out 30 applications and nobody called you back. Or maybe it's because you're an ex-felon and that keeps you from getting a job. Sometimes. That's why it's so important to have a network of friends, of people, a support system, because then maybe they can tell you, hey, these places are hiring felons. Go check them out. So that way you do get a job and you don't get that. You don't let that be your downfall because you couldn't get a job. And then sometimes it's a ride. Like, Houston, it's been hard. If I didn't work close to my home, that would be horrible for me because everywhere you go, you need to be able to drive. I just think that a lot of the times we are not honest with the women coming home and we don't tell them, listen, it's going to be hard sometimes. You're going to break down and cry in the middle of the night sometimes. You're going to run into situations that are out of your control and you need to have a backup plan. You need to know how to handle these things. You need to have someone that you can call in the middle of the night and be like, I can't take this anymore. I'm having a rough day. I need encouragement. I need to just talk to someone that gets me. I need to talk to someone that's not going to judge me, that's not going to look down on me because of my past. I need someone that gets me. And that's the whole purpose of this podcast. That's the whole purpose of this channel. That's the whole purpose of all these women coming together in these organizations, because it's not just Lioness. There's so many more in so many different cities now. And everyone is with the same goal: to give hope, to give support, to encourage, to be there for one another in this situation. And my organization 15 down, it's still in the works process, because I'm still learning how to help other people. Like, I might, go do stuff for maybe the homeless over here. I might go participate with these people over here. I might go help them with this. I might just, do whatever I can do when I can do it. But together, we're better. Together, we are organized. Together, we're smarter. Together, we figure things out so that we can help other people, so we can help each other, so we can support each other. And man, like I said, in prison, women don't stick together. It sucks, but it's the truth. And I did time in a time frame where people, man, you go to the chow hall, you're gonna see a fight every day. You fall out for anything, you're gonna see somebody fighting. And I'm glad that maybe that's changed a lot. I know they have tablets now. I think that if I would have had a tablet in my cubicle, I probably wouldn't have ever left my cubicle, and I wouldn't have been in as much trouble. And then imagine, they have access to Pando, they have access to all these preachers and just God, like, just to feed yourself, feed yourself, feed yourself. And they don't have to endure being in the day room around all this negativity. They don't have to endure listening to this and this conversation and that going on over there and that going on over there, and the officer coming in, you know, being a butthole. Like, you can actually just put your headphones in and feed your spirit. And that is the best thing ever. I mean, and there's movies on there, there's music on there. I mean, all we had is an AM FM station, and you know what? I lived with my headphones on. I did, and I hate to say it, but yes, I got in trouble a lot. So there was times that I was stuck in my cubicle for all the wrong reasons, and thank God that my brother, he would send me books and keep me educated, and not just sitting there trying to, what am I going to get into now? No, I actually had something to focus my attention and expand my brain, and learn something new, or just anything, just to read. I wanted to just read to escape that place. And I think now, being able to sit here with you guys and share my story and share moments that I've been through, it's just a beautiful and empowering thing for me, because I feel like I cannot believe that I'm sitting here doing this when just 5 years ago I was sitting in there alone, surrounded by thousands of people, but I'm so alone. And if I didn't choose to get up in the morning and fight another day, then that was it. There it stops. It was my choice every day to get up and choose life. And I know that life can be hard out here. Now imagine in there. My heart just it's still there with those women, you know. I still talk to women from in there, and one of them hopefully lets me interview them, because I can't wait to share their story. They're My dogs are acting out today. Excuse me. But life is life, and you see, and this is like the reality of it. Like, I'm here at my home, in my office, and just, this is my daily life. This is my life. And it doesn't get realer than that. There is no pretending. There is no filter to hide all the bad things going on in the background. No, this is life. This is reality. And I think that no matter what religion you choose, no matter who you pray to, you have to have something that centers you, that brings you peace, that gives you hope. You need that. We all as individuals need that. We need to, I don't care if it's meditating, I don't care if it's reading your word, or whatever it takes. You need that. You need something that's positive, and you're feeding your spirit and your mind and your heart positivity, so that you're able to put that back out in the world. And I'm just, I can't say and stress it enough that if you do believe in God, pray. Listen to gospel music. If you want to listen to rap music, listen to rap. They have so many different artists that you can listen to. and so many different things. It's Christian based, it's gospel, it's, man, there's something for everybody, something for every single one of us. And I just, there's no excuse. There's no excuse for us. If we want to do better, we have to feed our spirit and our mind and our bodies better. We have to do whatever it takes to make us better. And I say better like we're sick, because for a lot of us, we were mentally and emotionally, we were sick individuals, because who wants to live that way? Who is okay with living that way? I think I was. I was okay with it. I accepted it willingly, because that was going to be my life for a lot of years. It was my life for a lot of years. And what's the word? You can endure it, yes, if that's how you view it, or you can become part of it, which I did. And that world is a world in its own. That is its own world in there. And it really truly is the battle of the fittest. It really is. And thank God I don't have to live like that no more. Thank God I don't have to choose that way of life anymore. I choose different. I choose life, and I choose my God to continue to lead me and bless me, and just I stay humble, and I stay grateful for all the opportunities that come into my life, and the people that God puts in my life. And I'm grateful for the women that are still in my life. They have been through what I've been through, and some even worse situations than me. And they're doing the most to be able to give back to their communities, to their families, to the women still in that situation. And I know I talk a lot about women, but there's a lot of men too. And I know Lioness is mostly women, because that's what we were. We were all women together in there. But if you come be part of the 15 Down family, understand that if you're a man, you're more than welcome. We accept you here, and you're part of the family, and we support each other. We encourage each other. We pray together, and we're in this together, and it's not just a fight to fight the justice system. It's not just a fight to, go against what we've been through, or to expose what we've been through, but to support each other, to grow together, to be here for one another, for those times that we're going to need each other, because life, it comes for you, and you got to be ready. You got to have a support system. There's going to be days you want to call someone, and just be like, can you just pray for me? Pray for me? Just pray. I can't even pray for myself. Can you pray for me? And that's the best part, is that you have someone to call. And like I said, we're better together. We're stronger together. And I just want to change the whole direction of this podcast, to make it more welcoming to the people that are just like me. Because I know that even if you're not like me and you enjoy listening to the podcast, and supporting the channel, I thank you. And I bless you, for supporting us that have been in these situations. But like I said, stick around, and check out the interviews coming up, because you never know, you could relate to somebody in there. You never know what these people have been through, because I promise you, they don't look nothing like what they've been through. And these women and then these men are so beautiful and amazing, their spirit, their heart, it, their minds. You just never know what's behind that smile. So I want to close out, and I just want you to think for this week, and just understand, you should never ever judge a book by its cover, because the cover, it might be nice and shiny, but you don't know the darkness inside. And then on the other opposite of the coin, guess what? That cover might be very bruised and torn, and it's been through some things. But the story inside, beautiful, carrying so many gems. So that's what I leave you with this week, is never judge a book by its cover. I wish you have to all have a great and amazing week. I wish you all happiness this week. I hope somebody reaches their goal that they've been striving to. I hope this encourages somebody that's been feeling down. And I hope it makes some of you laugh, because I know I can, be a little silly sometimes. But I just hope that all of you understand that I know life is life, and sometimes, but we're in this together. And y'all have a good week. I'm out.